The president of the Venezuelan Supreme Court, Carislia Rodriguez, ratified in an unobjectable way the results of the presidential elections by the electoral body on the elections of July 28th. In the U.S., current Minnesota Governor Tim Walz accepted the Democratic Party's nomination for being the running mate of Kamala Harris on the electoral race. And the Democratic Republic of the Congo registered another 1,000 Mpox case in just 1 week. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll be with the news. Stay with us. On Thursday, the president of the Venezuelan Supreme Court, Carislia Rodriguez, certified in an objectable way the results of the presidential elections by the electoral body on the elections of July 28. In this regard, the Supreme Court of Justice ratified the results of the National Electoral Council, where Nicolás Maduro was democratically elected as president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. This way, the constitutional organ verified the contiguous resources collected in order to certify in an unrestricted and unequivocal manner that the results of the electoral process are carried out. Meanwhile, Rodriguez also urged the National Electoral Council to publish the results of the electoral gazette as contemplated in Article 155 of the Electoral Process Organic Law.
I certify in an unobjectionable manner the electoral material expertly certified, and this court validates the results of the presidential election of July 28, 2024 issued by the National Electoral Council, where the citizen Nicolás Maduro was elected as president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela for the constitutional period 2025 to 2031. It is so decided.
The Attorney General of Venezuela, Tarek William Saab, together with the Foreign Affairs Minister Ivan Hill, presented before the diplomatic corps accredited in this country evidence of the violent conspiration and attempt coup d'etat perpetrated by the fascism ultra-right wing that lost the elections last July the 28th.
In a report, complemented with videos showing those responsible for the violent acts promoted by the extreme right, led by economic and political sectors of the United States through Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo Gonzalez. The head of the Venezuelan Public Ministry trusts that the governments will take note of the destabilization attempts against the country.
Who can say that it is a peaceful demonstration to attack the CNA, education and hospital units, attacks on the police headquarters, public transportation units, attacks on innocent people? So I believe that the report before the diplomatic corps has caused a great impact, and I have asked them, because it is a duty and an obligation, that they take note of what we have said and replicate it to the governments. There has to be a correspondence.
The Venezuelan Minister of People's Power for Foreign Affairs, as host of the event, said that in the context of international relations there is a new challenge, because there are governments that reject the institutionality and will of the Venezuelan people, guided by the messages they collect from social networks.
Nowadays, virtual reality is taking over, the reality of social networks, and even surpass the foreign ministers themselves. But this effort made by the Venezuelan Foreign Ministry and the Venezuelan Attorney General's office is precisely to combat this lie that unfortunately in some foreign ministries of the world is making the information.
The Attorney General of the Republic, Tarek William Saab, in this stage that is the Sucre Hall of the Yellow House, headquarters of the Chancellery, presented before the diplomatic corps of Venezuela the elements that allow to demonstrate the amount of violence that has been presented and also the situation that has meant that actions of the ultra-right prevented a normal process after the diplomatic process of July 28.
The Venezuelan Institute for Scientific Research report on the breakthrough of a mini Bono Marov's two-thread had impact diseases on the population. The researcher seeks to prove the chance of taking stem cells from a human being, placing them in mini organs, and generating blood cells with the aim of revolutionizing the treatment of diseases such as leukemia and plasmatic anemia. Dr. Jose Cardier, head of the IVC's Cells Therapy Unit, state that this advance has huge potential to improve the life of patients with blood diseases, and note that the Ministry of Science and Technology has given great support to the project, showcasing its commitment to the development of new technologies. Let's take a very short break, but remember, you can now join us on our TikTok account as teleSUR English, where you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. On Wednesday, Democratic National Convention, current Minnesota Governor Tim Walz accepted his party nomination for being the running mate of Kamala Harris on the electoral race. In his speech, in addition to thanking his family, his state, and Kamala Harris, he made some comments on the Republican candidate Donald Trump and his vice presidential nominee, J.D. Vance. Walz assured that taking them to the White House is part of a plan by the Heritage Funding Allies of Far-Right Entrepreneur entitled Project 2025, which, according to Walz, poses a danger for the U.S. future. The Democrat nominee was really touched while he explained the scope of electing him as a running mate of Kamala Harris.
Thank you, first of all, to Vice President Harris. Thanks for putting your trust in me and for inviting me to be part of this incredible campaign. And a thank you to President Joe Biden for 4 years of strong, historic leadership. It's the honor of my life to accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States. We're all here tonight for one beautiful, simple reason. We love this country.
And the Democratic National Convention in the United States finally discussed the issue of immigration. It waited until the third day to do so, and to many experts, the campus is still lost. Among those present were the senators who helped negotiate the controversial immigration pact with the Republicans, who proposed severe restrictions in the asylum system and offered no option for the legalization of 11 million undocumented migrants. The pressure put on the Democrats by the November 5th elections campaign against Donald Trump has led the party's platform approved last Monday to start shifting its immigration policy towards arson reform. Moving on Thursday, Israeli occupation forces caused widespread destruction in a Tulkren refugee camp. In this sense, Faisal Salama, head of the Popular Committee for Services of Tulkren refugee camp, denounced that Israeli attacks have caused major damage to the streets, infrastructure, and private property, including sewage, water, the electricity, and communication system. Also in Palestine, Israeli occupation forces committed 3 massacres against families in the Gaza Strip over the last 24 hours, resulting in the killing of at least 42 Palestinians and the injury of 163 others. In this sense, medical and health sources affirms that the Palestinian death toll from the Israeli outlaw since October the 7th, 2023 has rises to 40,265 reported fatalities, with an additional 93,144 individuals sustained injuries. Addition that the majority of the victims are women and children. And the Unitary Committee of Solidarity with Palestine in Ecuador called for a march on Thursday in support of the Palestinian people who face the Israeli genocide that already left more than 30,000 death victims. In this way, the social organization called upon the different unions from collective movements, solidarity committees, and citizens to mobilize in favor of the Palestinian cause. Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to join us on our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to watch on interviews, top stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and active the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. One final short break, don't go away. Welcome back. The Democratic Republic of the Congo registered another 1,000 Mpox case in just 1 week. African healthcare authorities for the produce allocated and distributed vaccines as they are desperately needed. The World Health Organization declared monkeypox outbreaks as a global emergency. In smallpox cases, symptoms such as fever, pain, and in more severe cases, lesions of the face, hands, breast, and genitals. The virus is spread by close skin contacts, including sexual intercourse.
Today, the Mpox affects over 17 African countries, so we are talking about a continental emergency. Secondly, regarding our situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, we amount to 16,700 cases and 570 deaths from the disease. The novelty of this virus is that it affects every time more young people and even many minors under 15 years old.
Meanwhile, British Emeritus Professor Jim Whitworth already granted that the new Mpox variant is provided to be more lethal.
But this is a different variant. This is clade 1b, and this seems to be even more lethal than any of the variants of Mpox that we've seen before. It's got a mortality rate of about 3 to 4% overall, and it's higher, perhaps around 8 to 10% in children and in pregnant.
Otherwise, in Thailand, the Department of Disease Control's report an suspect first case of the new and more dangerous strain of Mpox.
We are here at the press conference today, not to confirm that we found a patient with Mpox clade 1b variant. This patient is suspected to have, but does not 100% have, the Mpox clade 1b variant.
At least 17 workers died and 40 others were injured in an explosion at a pharmaceutical plant in India. In this regard, authorities report that the fire occurred in a pharmaceutical unit in the district of Anakapali. Meanwhile, the report also added that rescue operations were underway after the explosion to locate the injured and the deceased. On the other hand, investigators do not rule out that the explosion was caused by a gas leak that eventually reached an electrical panel, but they are still awaiting the results of the investigations to determine the specific cause. On Thursday, the Federal Security Service and the Armed Forces of Russia repulsed an attempt incursion of a Ukrainian armed group into the Bryansk region, northwest of the region. In this regard, the governor of the region, Alexander Bogomas, stated that the units have eliminated the perpetrators from the border, leaving the situation at the site of the clash stabilized and under the control of the regional operational headquarters. The United Nations on Wednesday expressed concern over a report of the possible use of nuclear weapons in the United States in the face of an alleged threat from China. In this regard, the spokesman for the organization, Secretary General Stefan Dujarric, said he was concerned about reports that President Joseph Biden had approved a classified strategic nuclear plan that changed the approach to China. Meanwhile, Dujarric stressed the United Nations indications to work on a nuclear weapons issue in areas with dialogue and diplomacy as a priority. We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials. We're on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram as well. For Telesur English, I'm from the south of Marrero. Thank you for watching.